My lords, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 143rd President's Speech at the annual Gafta dinner. This is certainly one of the strangest. Even during World War II, Gafta was one of only a couple of trade associations that maintained its annual dinner throughout the war. The terrible coronavirus has caused global havoc and tens of thousands of unnecessary deaths. At times like these, the importance of family and belonging are paramount. As Gafta members, we are carrying out a vital role for the world, keeping food and feed moving from areas of surplus to where it is most needed. As Gafta President, I want you to know that your contribution is recognised and that the staff members at Gafta are doing whatever they can to assist you in your labours. At Gemcom, which is the trading company I founded and run, we specialise in the trade of niche grain and feed materials, and much of our focus is on the organic market. With materials we source originating in many different countries around the world, our biggest concern was to keep material flowing out of countries in lockdown. As we are such a customer-focused business, our buyers depend on us for daily deliveries that we organise from the stores where we hold stocks. Our biggest priority and greatest challenge is to maintain high enough stock levels and secure the logistics needed to ensure that we do not let our customers down. Our team needed to quickly adapt, set up working from home, as I know many others have too. Some of my colleagues have newborn babies, others have children at different stages of education, and some unfortunately have loved ones at home with underlying health conditions. So these were tremendously challenging circumstances and a huge change from assembling for work each day at our buzzy central London office. But with great determination and a fantastic positive attitude, I am extremely proud of how well we have managed. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and pay tribute to all the people, not only my colleagues at Gemcom, but those who work at our customers, our commodity suppliers and logistics services, for their incredible effort, refusal to give up, insistence that we shall make this work, and the spirit of we simply cannot fail in our mission to keep going. It is, without a doubt, a privilege to be part of an industry that is so fundamental, and never felt more than at a time like this. I am sure I'm not alone in saying this experience has given all of us an even greater sense of purpose to the work we do. Millions of people depend on international trade for their food security and livelihoods, and this is particularly the case as the COVID-19 pandemic accelerates across the globe. While the coronavirus has resulted in a major health and economic crisis, we have been fortunate in the grain and feed trade that bulk food and feed supply has hardly been disrupted. Gafta also supported the IAFN in raising private sector concerns on the need to keep food and feed chains flowing at FAO from the very outset of the pandemic. Advocacy at EU with COSRL and CELCA has focused on ensuring that food and feed was defined as essential, so to allow trade to continue and maintain food security worldwide. Likewise, to classify food and feed workers as essential, to allow supply chains to function across the globe, but especially in those areas hardest hit by COVID-19. There have certainly been challenges with additional quarantine measures in the dispatch and receipt of shipping documents. COVID-19 has demonstrated how the global trade needs to be more flexible and embrace technology and move away from paper originals towards the acceptance of electronic copies. We have seen how many governments have become more flexible in receiving electronic documents, including scanned copies of original phytosanitary certificates that allow imports of much needed commodities to continue. Exporting countries have moved to electronic systems, and Gafta has helped promote these initiatives through local trade associations and MPPOs. We will continue to encourage these positive changes and work with importing and exporting governments alike to embrace technology. Gafta supports IGTC efforts to raise awareness and share knowledge about the IPPC ePhyto solution. 80 countries are now registered, and with Mexico and Colombia soon to become operational, there will be even more opportunities for our members to be involved in case studies to test this facility on several trade flows. Gafta, together with the Global Pulses Confederation, have proactively reached out to the WTO and its members to promote the need for open trade, asking the WTO's Director General and several member countries to avoid export restrictions, which negatively impact food prices, hamper trade, and impact on food security, particularly for those most vulnerable. We very much welcome the WTO pledge and G20 agricultural ministers' statements supporting the role of international trade, and we continue to encourage other key exporters to join. Closely monitoring stocks and exports will be important in the months ahead as food security remains a priority. It is a great concern that, according to the UN, the number of people in the world facing acute food insecurity could nearly double this year to 265 million due to the economic fallout of COVID-19. Gafta supports the UN Committee in World Food Security discussing the impact of this issue at its next session. We need a predictable trading environment, avoid policies that may unintentionally create unwarranted shortages of essential items and exacerbate hunger and cause panic buying. We also need to remind ourselves daily of the important role the agricultural trade continues to play in contributing to global food and feed security. Gafta will continue to share as much information as possible about how the virus is impacting global trade, and have temporarily made our online version of the bi-monthly magazine, Gafta World, publicly available to all. Gafta have been able to maintain most of its services during these challenging times. Arbitration has moved entirely online, and while we cannot currently run events like the Gafta dinner as we would wish, or face-to-face training courses, we are running several programs online. These include Gafta's long-established distance learning program and our suite of bite-sized training modules, Agribility. We have also been able to organise remote audits with our certification body, NSF, for superintendents, analysts and fumigators on the Gafta approved register. During these difficult times, the role of trade associations like Gafta become even more important. They provide sources of advice and information. They provide key links to policymakers and a sense of continuity and community, even if that community is online for now. We are all playing our part in helping to keep the world fed, and I am very proud as your president to raise a toast to you all until we meet again, which we will.